Hi, and welcome to SpringPath's College and Career Readiness Success Tracks. I'm Elisa Ocone, Director of Outreach, and today it is a Success Tracks Plus episode focusing on LGBTQ plus resources for those in that community thinking about post-secondary planning. So the topics that we're going to cover today, some statistics, the application itself in brief form, research and things to question and look out for, signs of friendliness on a campus, scholarships, and then some additional resources. So I'd like to start with some statistics overall before getting into some of those suggestions to help students and their families really make the most informed decisions. So I think these next slides help set the stage for why this type of episode is important, and then again get into some suggestions for research as you go along in the process. So I'll start with this or these few points according to the Williams Institute. And the Williams Institute is the leading research center on sexual orientation, gender identity law, and public policy. So in their experiences of LGBTQ people in four-year colleges and graduate programs, and this data is from May 2022, it was found that LGBTQ people were 4 times more likely than non to pick a college away from home. LGBTQ students were more likely than their non LGBTQ peers to experience poor mental health, bullying, and harassment. And then 1/3 of LGBTQ people report that their mental health was not good all or most of the time they were in college. And I'd like to follow up this slide with reference to the Post-Secondary National Policy Institute's fact sheet on their website, LGBTQ plus students in higher education. So according to the National Center for Education Statistics, sexual orientation was the second most motivating bias for hate crimes at post-secondary institutions. And then in a survey by the Association of American Universities, 60% of transgender college students reported that they feared for their physical safety due to their gender identity or their perceived sexual orientation. So again, knowing this information, hopefully sharing this information, not only sets the stage for why this episode is important and why sharing this information is important, but also hopefully for all of those in this community who are college bound, kind of um, again, knowing that there are resources to help make decisions so that perhaps your experience can be better than some of what we just shared. All right, so in terms of the application process overall, and there's not too much to share here, but just it can be difficult to make a blatant statement, sorry, for kind of the right amount of information to share. And there really isn't. So there really is no right answer about how much of yourself or your identity you should or shouldn't reveal in the application process. So I guess I'd rather say do what feels right to you, do what feels comfortable for you. And that goes for both the written parts of the application and specific application questions themselves. So, as far as the essay goes, you need to be mindful about your comfort level in sharing this information with anyone who may be helping you with that application process, anyone who's reading that essay. So, whether it is a parent or a family member or a teacher, and then again, knowing who's reading the essay on the other side, are you ready and do you want to share that information with those people who are helping and who will be reading the application? And again, that answer is going to be different for everyone, which is totally fine. It's really about figuring out what you yourself are comfortable with. And if you're out and comfortable and sharing this part of your identity is crucial to your overall story as part of the application, then absolutely go for it. And you know you have allies, perfect. Again, it's really deciding what you're comfortable with and what will best help you through this process. In terms of applications themselves, there may be on specific applications, or I should say, there may be specific questions on a college application about gender identity. And again, it's really up to you how you answer. If you're not ready to share a part of your identity yet, that's completely okay. Again, you answer in a way that is authentic to you, but again, in a way that is comfortable. And again, this process, going through kind of the higher ed application process, can be stressful enough for everybody. There's no need to add layers of stress to it. So again, you take a step back, look at what's being asked of you in terms of sharing information about yourself, and then you do what feels right to you. Now for some suggestions as you research colleges. So perhaps before you've even gotten to that application process and you're just compiling a list of schools that you want to look at, schools where you think you will be a good fit and will be a good fit for you. And this is information that you can gather simply by looking at a college's website, certainly following up with phone calls if there's something that you can't find. And then I would say third, on a college visit. So again, these are questions that you want to have in your head, or if you have a notebook that you bring with you, or where you're compiling all of your information, where you can jot down this information. It's really important. Again, coming off of those statistics, this is information that you want to arm yourself with so that you can make the best choice for you in terms of comfort and academics and everything that will make for a positive college experience. And we'll start with housing. Certainly important if you will be living on campus, whether it's within your state or out of state. What do living arrangements for LGBTQ plus students look like? Is there separate housing? Is housing mixed? How does it all work? And this would be a good opportunity to perhaps contact someone in Res Life. So in the Office of Residential Life at whatever campus it is, and again, gather this information, have a more in-depth conversation, because that's certainly impactful, right? It is where you will spend your non-class time. So you want to make sure that there is an opportunity, more than an opportunity, but assurance that you will be comfortable where it is you're spending your downtime. And that factors right into the second bullet point, student life. You want to make sure that there are LGBTQ plus student organizations, clubs, even publications for this community. So again, look at the website, look at student life, contact somebody in student life, see, do they have a pride club? Is it something else? And again, clubs can have absolutely different names, but you want to ensure that they're there on that campus. Mental and physical health services. So this question comes up a lot too. What does this look like for the LGBTQ plus community on that particular campus? Are there practitioners who will or who are responsible for taking care of the LGBTQ plus community? And I'll make a point about bigger campuses versus smaller campuses in a moment, but just keep in mind also that not that just because a campus doesn't have specific services, and this actually goes right into the next bullet point. So I might as well just go right there first. When looking for LGBTQ plus supports that are other or more general than the ones we just talked about, is there an LGBTQ plus center on campus? A really important question to ask. Certainly, if there is one, it is a sign of friendliness on that particular campus. But just note that you may be more likely to find all of these specific services and again, an LGBTQ plus center on campus at a bigger campus. But that doesn't mean that smaller campuses aren't friendly or that they don't have resources, whether within that college community or outside of campus, to help. So just because there maybe isn't a specific center on campus doesn't mean it's not a friendly campus. So you just really need to dig in a little bit, talk to the right people. Again, for mental and physical health services, reach out to the nurse or the doctor on campus, again, depending on the size, and find out, are there services in the larger community for the LGBTQ plus community and students? And again, maybe there's not a center on campus, but there is, a safe space. There are publications, there are student clubs and organizations. And again, knowing a little bit more about the surrounding area and the community where that college is can be helpful in gathering some of this information as well. But again, just because a college campus doesn't have a center specifically for LGBTQ plus students doesn't mean it's not a friendly campus. So digging into some more specific ways you can kind of judge friendliness on campus when you are visiting. So again, when you've taken the time to go and visit a campus, look for signs, look for pride flags, look for safe space stickers and posters. Again, when you're out kind of in the halls or in common areas, when there are flyers up for club meetings and things of that nature, or authors that they're hosting, look again for signs of people in that community. Look for gender inclusive bathrooms. Again, all of these things can just give you a sense of the space. And again, no different than any student visiting any campus, right? Where you want to see if you're a good fit. You're looking around, you're looking at the students that you see, you're looking at the faculty members. And whether we like it or not, we oftentimes judge books by their covers. But it is a way to, again, look at the surroundings and investigate a little bit visually. And of course, on websites, you can either follow up your visit or do this searching before you get to a campus. Look on the college's website for their non-discrimination policies. Check out social media. Did they post in a positive way for Pride Month? Again, so there's all of these little ways that you can kind of dig in and judge friendliness to the best of your ability. But browsing a course catalog, you want to look at the academics as well. Are there LGBTQ plus themed courses that are offered? Oftentimes, all of these little things can help you decide if this is, again, I'll say quote unquote friendly campus. But they are there. These signs are there. And when in doubt, or you're not seeing signs, make phone calls, talk to someone when you're on campus. Again, you can always start with the admissions office. If they don't have the answer, they can certainly point you in the right direction, whether it is about faculty and academics, again, residential life, student life. There are resources there who can answer these questions for you so that you can be the most informed. Now, in terms of scholarships, of course, there are scholarships opportunities for all students pursuing higher education, and we have an episode about where to look for all of those scholarships. But I just wanted to make a point that there are scholarships specifically for LGBTQ plus students, and you can find them at every level, at the federal level, state level, local, and institutional. So again, sometimes you just have to look. Some examples are scholarships by the Point Foundation, Live Out Loud, the Pride Foundation, and those are just a few examples. Again, there are many, many, many more. Many scholarship sites let you filter your search for LGBTQ plus specifically. So just know that there is an opportunity out there for specific scholarships. Again, in addition to all of the other scholarships, if you watch our scholarship episode, that you can see as well. And then lastly, just some additional resources that I think are really important to check out and can maybe again help in the information gathering piece of this puzzle, which is the largest piece, right? It helps you make your most informed decision. So a website I definitely suggest is campuspride.org. They put together listings of LGBTQ plus friendly colleges and universities. And the way they determine their listing criteria, they look at the policies, the programs, and the practices at those institutions. And they come up with a best of the best list. And again, they give information for their reasoning and how they came up with this list. And sadly, there's also a worst of the worst. And it is, if nothing else, maybe a place to start. So you get on campuspride.org, you look at their list of, 2023 best of the best. You can look by state and see what are places that might be a good fit that are friendly campuses, and you can see again how they're vetted. And you yourself can dig in more specifically to those policies, programs, and practices. And I'll just make one more note here for a moment that although what we've talked about thus far is very college specific, all of this information gathering is good practice for students who are thinking about trade school or going right into the workforce. Get information, right, about the company culture. Ask about non-discrimination policies. Ask about DEI training as well. So there's an opportunity, whatever you think your pathway may be more informed, to make a decision that is right and comfortable for you. And then the last point here, state laws. So just know that if you are looking in colleges kind of across state lines, that colleges may be bound by laws of those states. And there are certainly states that are perhaps more friendly than not, but just throwing out there something to be aware of. So if you're looking in a state where you're not familiar with state laws concerning the LGBTQ plus community, maybe something you want to look into so you're informed. And again, yes, when you attend a college or university, you are mostly on that campus, but it might help give a little bit of insight into what life off campus and around campus might be like. So, just again, a few opportunities to gather some more information so that when you make this decision, you're taking all things into account. So, I hope this information was helpful. And if nothing else, a starting point for information that you maybe can and should be looking for as you make your college list or trade school list or looking towards the workforce later on. Um, So, hope it was helpful and hope to see you on another episode. Take care. Good luck in your search.